Hola from Cabo, I'm Lexi, your best that moved here first, and today let's talk about the 3 things that you should know if you're visiting Cabo during hurricane season. So today is actually Wednesday. I'm here in my apartment because we had a hurricane that passed by yesterday. It did not touch ground, but just the rainfall and the tropical storms that come from a hurricane can be a little bit crazy. So if you're watching this video, you probably know that Cabo is located at the tip of the peninsula, right under California. So on each side of us, we have the Pacific Ocean, and we also have the Sea of Cortez. The Sea of Cortez is more like a channel. It's a little bit more calm because it's in between the peninsula and the mainland, but the Pacific Ocean here is really crazy if you haven't heard. So we definitely get a lot of tropical storms during the rainy season, which lasts between June to October. So we're in the final month. It's October 2025. We're almost through rainy season, which we love rainy season here because it comes during the summer. I would say the worst months for rainy season is September and October. So even if you come in June, July, August, like you might have a chance of rain, but if you're here in September or October, it's raining a lot. It's good, it cools down the weather a little bit, and it makes everything vibrant and green and alive again, so it really kicks off like high season in a positive way. So if you visit Cabo during those months, June to October, it's low season because the heat is intense, it rains, and there's chances of a hurricane touching land. You just never know. Cabo is rarely hit by a hurricane directly. There's lots of heavy rain and also really strong winds. So those are like the main things that happen during a storm. So the hurricanes usually do not hit land, but sometimes it happens, but it doesn't matter because we get a lot of tropical storms anyway. So here's what you need to know to expect. During a typical storm, what happens is some people will lose power. It really depends on the magnitude. The stores usually close for a day or two, depending on damage. The infrastructure in Cabo is not really the same as in the United States or Canada or other parts of the world. So whenever rain comes, we're really heavily impacted by it because it's not a town that's created to take on a lot of rain. Even though it's something that happens every year, it just is not really structured to collect a lot of rainwater. With that little background information, the first thing that you need to know if you're in Cabo during rainy season and you get hit with some rain is do not go in the streets. If the streets are flooded, don't walk in them. Try not to drive in them if you can. Like, it's really important just to seek shelter as much as possible whenever it's rainy season in Cabo. The reason why I would say don't go in flooded streets is because the rainwater mixes with sewage. So the streets are really dirty. It's disgusting. You can get sick. Don't buy anything from vendors off the streets like that you're going to consume. Obviously, it causes a health concern, so just be very careful about the streets. Drive very carefully if there are parts of the streets that are covered with water, because here, the potholes, they get huge after rain. So yeah, we just want to be careful with the potholes because we don't want to mess up our car. The second thing that you need to know is do not swim in the ocean for 3 to 5 days after the storm. Usually, the government puts out an advisory and tells you like how long to wait. But the runoff from all of the water in the street and the dirt and everything makes the water really unsafe and contaminated. The currents are also super unpredictable right after a storm because, of course, with the storm, the currents are stronger, the waves are bigger, things like that. It's super unpredictable, but it's also a health risk. So I would recommend staying out of the water 3 to 5 days after the last storm. And the third thing that you need to know is to be patient with the power and the internet. Sometimes it comes back really fast, but it can be unpredictable. I know Cabo San Lucas gets it worse than San Jose where I live. Some of my friends have been without power and water for up to a week after a hurricane. So that was something that I was not really used to, of course. So that was like a big adjustment and something that I had to learn to be patient with. It is 3:33 and the electricity is back on. Yay! I'm so happy. The worst thing is that like if you lose power during the hurricane, it's still hot outside. So your place still gets hot. I remember the first month that I moved to Cabo, there was a hurricane. I was staying in an Airbnb and I lost power just for 2 hours. And it was really hard for me. And you can't charge your phone, you can't cook. It's really crazy to think about not having power, and some people are without it for days afterwards. So just piggybacking off of that, I would say make sure that you stock up before a storm. Make sure they get plenty of water. Locals also get cash, gas, all of the basic supplies that you need. Make sure that if you have a generator that it's charged. Make sure that your backup power battery for your phone or your computer or anything is also charged. And there are some Facebook groups or WhatsApp text groups that you can join. I would look on Facebook. The best Facebook group that I have found is Cabo, everything you need or want to know or something like that. Anyway, I'll put a screenshot up. And in this Facebook group, it's super helpful because people are always sharing tips, talking about what's going on with the weather and things like that. So I would recommend that Facebook page. The cool thing about Cabo is that everyone is really trying to get up and running again. So a lot of locals are out. Like I just drove to the store and came back and I saw someone on my street was like patching part of the street. So that's the thing about Cabo, which is really cool, is the sense of community and that the locals try to get up and running as soon as possible. I think that that's really cool. So within a day or two, when the sun is out again, people are already patching the streets, the stores are getting cleaned up and opened again. If you're just visiting and traveling here, it's not really like what you would expect if you hear hurricane. It's more like tropical storm. It's just more common like with the locals, I think, to say like, oh, a hurricane is coming, even though the hurricane's not touching ground. It's like tropical storms. So if you hear hurricane, don't panic. It just usually means a tropical storm is coming. I'm a Midwest girl, so I never knew what to do whenever a hurricane was coming, and I feel like it's not too challenging. Just kind of have to like bunker down. If the energy of a tropical storm day really gives the energy of like a snow day feeling. So I'm enjoying it. I'm cozy. Yesterday I stayed home from work and I was working from home, but I watched movies, I was lazy and things like that. Today the sun is coming out a little bit. It's a little bit brighter, as you can see behind me. It was easy to get out and get to the store. The streets are a mess, but not as much of a mess as I would have thought, because we had quite a bit of rain yesterday. I just wanted to share this because these are some things that I wish that I knew before I moved to Cabo. And if you want to see more real life, what it's really like living in Cabo, the cost of living, what the neighborhoods are like, check out my other videos and subscribe for more local tips. So there you have it, are the top 3 things that I think that you need to know during hurricane season in Los Cabos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure, besties.